Okay, well, today I okay, today I thought might do something a little interesting with like the two things I teased in the first video a few days ago. Um, I want to go over my vinyl collection. I don't have a lot. I have like 5 records, but they're cool. I like them. I think the fact that I have like 5 makes them a little more meaningful than an entire streaming library. In fact, I think that's one of the things that makes vinyl a lot more interesting to me is the fact that it's very limited. At least when you're starting out. I got like a record player for like Christmas. I've been slowly adding to the collection of records I have. So yeah, I guess we'll just go over. Let's do this chronologically. Okay, so with my record player, I got two albums. Reliant K's Air for Free, and then Smile by Porter Robinson. This came out like a year ago, more or less. And then this is like a 9. God dang, great! It's 9 years old. Anyway, so I guess I'll just talk a little bit about each of these. Air for Free is like. It was like the latest record, currently the latest record by Reliant K. I guess they're kind of like a Christian rock band. They don't really make music about like faith or like religion that much. They're very much so just like a band who is Christian, but they're kind of known as a Christian rock band because they kind of came up in that world. But yeah, and so like it's got a cool little inside. You got like the two kind of frontmen, the two main members, kind of sitting there on like a rock of some kind. I also similar like it's them on the front there, and then I think it's cool. You see them on the back. Now, what's neat about this record, other than it just being one of my favorite albums of all time, but what's neat is on the vinyl release, they've actually changed the track list around, like they moved it around, so that each side kind of acts as a little mini EP, basically, where it's like, the songs are thematically connected on each side versus them being more spread around in the album. So that way, like, if you just listen to one side, in a sitting, say, you only have time to listen for 15, 20 minutes, or, you don't get up to change to flip it around or whatever, you still get like a kind of a complete artistic experience. I think that's very neat. But yeah, no, this is a band who probably the first quote unquote real band I ever got into. It was something like their band my parents listened to a lot when I was younger. Shoot, I'm even named after the lead singer. And so, being something I grew up listening to, started to, mean a lot to me, even though I don't really listen to this kind of music much anymore. It's like, it's alternative. I would recommend it, though. Can't swear it's really going to be anyone's cup of tea, but if you check out any song in that album, check out Heartache. It's the closing song for the record, and it is phenomenal. Really, really good closing song. I'm actually, as something you might see when I talk about all these, I'm a big fan of the last song on an album. I think it is, I think it always for me it really cements the piece, and that makes sense. I've heard of studies that show your biggest takeaway from anything is you kind of in your brain you mesh together the middle whatever, so all the content that came before and then the very end. So that's kind of the bad ending of a TV show sits with us longer. And so for me, with a lot of these albums, the ending really stands out, and in some of these cases, as we'll get to with another album on here, defines the whole album for me. Just the closing song does. So anyway, that's cool. Air for Free. Now we got Smile by Porter Robinson. Actually, see the back. It's a little. That's the, I guess, cartoon balloon version of Porter, and then you got him kind of dying over here. I also they've got this ASCII art on the side really cool. I guess I'll show you the spine too, if you can kind of make that out. It's got like a little checkerboard pattern. So yeah, I think it's cool. Also, not a season name there. Whatever. It's neat. Really good album. Definitely my favorite album of the last year. And I didn't show this with Air for Free because the sleeves weren't cool. They were just paper sleeves. However, the sleeves here are definitely neat. So like it's black. But as you can see, when you're like looking at it, actually I'll show it this way. If you're like looking at it in the actual case, or the actual like whatever, see it kind of looks like, oh, you very clearly see, oh, this is side A. So that's neat. And then, so as you can see, these are like pink. I didn't really address that with Air for Free, but something I also really like about vinyl is the fact that these are like colored in special ways. I'm sure there's probably a vinyl nerd watching this at some point, freaking out because I'm handling this wrong. I definitely am. But what's cool, something I like about this, so it's like, side A, on the side you got some like, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's got like ASCII art. It's got the track list for both sides. So yeah, very cool. And then on this side you get a little cartoon like angel, Porter Robinson kind of whatever. And so yeah, pretty cool. And then let's see, we'll slide this back in. And then I'll show this one too. There's another really special, same kind of thing, side C. And then you got Devil, Porter Robinson. So yeah, really cool. Like it a lot. Obviously one of my favorite albums at this point. And then also to kind of give you a better look at the inside, it's him on this weird little dolphin thing. I don't think he ever explained what that was. And I want to say, oh yes, there's, we have a lyric book. Yet again, it's got like the angel, devil thing. And if we open this up, it's this huge spread full of the lyrics and then credits for every song. So I'll go ahead and see if I can let you get a better look at each spot. I think it's gonna be mirrored on your end. I don't know, but you can just kind of go through. See, I think it's really cool, and I also like how each song kind of has its own ASCII art to go along with. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. But yeah, each song has its own little art to go along with it. And I remember before the album came out, they released a modified version of this sleeve that just had the songs on it that had already come out. And so I remember spending a lot of time trying to figure out what the art meant for the other songs, because like it still showed the art on the sleeve. It had like Laura Epsom text for the unreleased songs, and I was like using this. Let's see if we can find it. This like where is it? Like the cup there, the alcoholic beverage, to kind of like figure out what year of the cup would be like. That'd be about, and I was kind of right, kind of wrong. I don't know. Anyway, all that said, that was a very cool experience for me before this album came out, and then also just to show on the back, it's got like a little 3D render of getting in the little cartoon mascot version of them, and then it's got all the credits. And I think it's even got it's got like the art direction credits. It's got the full, who mastered each track, and then at the very top, it's got like a thank you note for his wife, his like collaborators. That's something interesting about this album is compared to really every other album of his, he entirely collaborated with like friends. He was mostly like co-writing stuff with the like future bass group Wave Dash, and then the like, I don't know how you would describe it, like alternative kind of rock artist James Ivy, and so it led to a very interesting and very unique sound. Come on. I'll fix the sweater. Anyway, so there's that. This video is getting longer than I was expecting, so I thought about trying to speed it up, but I don't think I'll be able to, because the next album is my favorite album of all time. I got this one shortly after Christmas. This was like a gift that didn't come in on time. But this album, you know, not to get into it a lot, because I could write a whole essay on this, but it definitely changed a lot of the way I view art, and even in general, just the way I like engage with the world. Like, you could definitely say, like, you could argue, I could make the argument that I'm making this video because I listened to this album. Not to say everything I'm doing is because of this, but like, the growth I had spurred on partially because of this album, definitely got me where I am today creatively. I remember I was listening to Arlo, the like Nintendo YouTuber. He had a podcast at the time called like ArloCast, and he that week it was like, I don't know, I want to say like week 14. It was like mid-September, 2021, and he had Xeon from Nintendo Life, which is a website I use a lot, and I watch their YouTube occasionally. But he was on there, and they kind of got to talking about music or whatever. And Xeon was like, "Oh yeah, I've been listening to like a lot of new Porter Robinson, because like this album was like fresh." And he mentioned that, "Oh, you know, I'm going to like Secret Sky, the music festival, and oh, you should check out Virtual Stuff, all this stuff." And Arlo was like, "Oh yeah, I've listened to World. I like that." And I was like, huh, okay, I'll go check it out, because I've been just kind of getting into like electronic music. I'd listen to a lot of Hyper Potions and like Syntheon at this point, so like more like the future bass kind of stuff. But anyway, I listened to this, and it like changed so much about how I see art, how I like engage with making it. So yeah, and this one, love the inside. It's got this full piece of porter sitting grass. I want to say this was taken somewhere in North Carolina, which kind of cool for me, because I spent a lot of time in North Carolina. I lived there for about 10 years. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I just. But yeah, it's got this whole little like note about the album here, because this was something that he took a lot of time making. It's got like the credits. Very cool. I want to say, I don't know, the thank you notes aren't here. I thought the thank you notes might have been there. Anyway, but yeah, so just pulling out the vinyl, the actual record. These have these like see-through, clear designs. I want to say there's another iteration of it that's like kind of greenish, but I don't have that. I think it's a specific online store that sells those. Anyway. Very cool though. I like it a lot. Probably my favorite thing about vinyl is the fact that like these are able to, through the physical media itself, like through the actual thing you're listening through, it is able to like show the art direction of the album. And I think that's just very cool. Go ahead to the back. This kind of thing wrecked my like sense of visual design, as you will see through future projects I'm currently working on. Like, the DNA of this specific art design is all over a lot of things I do now. And then let's see where I thought there is. I don't think I have it in here, and I'm not sure where it is anymore. But there was a book, like a lyric book that came with this, but I don't know where it is. That's fun. I thought it was in here, but I don't. I'm not seeing it. So I definitely put that somewhere and forgot about it. Cool. Anyway, I kind of wish I had that to show it off. Let's see here. No, I don't know where it is. Okay, whatever. I don't have time to look. Oh, It's right here. Stupid. Okay. Anyway, I must have fallen out. Whatever. This, very cool. This is the only vinyl I have that came with like an art book. But it's got like the thank you notes in the back, which is very cool because just not to get into the whole background of this album, but it definitely came from like a long period of like creative struggle for Porter Robinson. And so it's cool to have like, oh, you know, the thank you notes of like the musicians who helped him get through this period. And then it's cool. I think I will actually flip through the whole thing. But it's got like custom photography for each song. And I just I adore. I eat this junk up. It's so good. There's the page for "Get Your Wish," my like favorite song of all time. Very cool stuff. I don't know. I eat this up. It's great. I really love the scribble design you see here. That is also definitely. I think there's one piece on my like Instagram right now that is very clearly inspired by this. It's like fan art of like Sailor Mercury of all characters. I was just like, what if I take this like visual design that I really like and merge it with like another thing that's very creatively inspiring for me, that being like Sailor Moon. Like stylistically, you can also see a lot of that in my art style. I need water. Thirsty. Okay. Voodoo. I don't know. I want to be thorough. I want to show the whole thing. Oh, Summon Company. Love the picture here for this song. Definitely like one of the like emotional highlights of this album. We got something a little more simpler for like the closing songs. And I really like that "Trying to Feel Alive," the closer, has very little on it outside this little like tree. Oh, actually, I think that's fading through. That's actually back here. Whatever. But yeah, just to speak a little bit about like "Trying to Feel Alive," basically it's reflecting on the experience of making the album. And he basically, through the song, he comes to the conclusion that being like an artist is a gift, because he basically spent years of his life just trying to like feel alive, and ended up like, you know, he uses the metaphor of like, oh, he climbed a mountain, as in like he made a whole album just trying to like feel something. And I definitely feel like that's there's like I resonate with that a lot, because I make things. I'm doing this right now just because like I feel like total crap if I'm not actually putting something out into the world as an artist. If I'm not creating anything. And so yeah, that was something that resonated with me a lot at the time, especially because when that album did come out, I was struggling with a lot of like creative issues coming from stuff that I'll probably get into at some point. I'm not going on the whole Lego Life tangent right now. So I will now move on to the two most recent records I got. I got these for my birthday. I got Owl City, All Things Bright and Beautiful. This is a really cool album. Probably my second favorite Owl City album. I've been really enjoying Ocean Eyes lately. So yeah, these is a little less cool. Just whatever, little paper sleeve, nothing really fancy. And then kind of a standard black. That's fine. I don't know. I didn't really expect that much from an Owl City record in terms of, I don't know, the presentation, the form factor. I do believe this was also on the cheaper end. It does still have a cool inside art, and it's got like the credits. Fun fact: the lead singer, this one right here, Matt Thiessen for Relient K. He is good friends with like Adam Young, also known as Owl City, and so you can see that more so on Ocean Eyes, but especially at least on like the last song here, Plant Life, the closing song for All Things Bright and Beautiful. You can see right there he co-wrote it, and like, you know, sang on it and whatnot. And it, like, you know, as a fan of Relient K, you can definitely hear, like, just like the chord progressions. Very cool. Whatever. Now, okay, getting to the last thing, the last record I have, the world's 10th anniversary vinyl. From like a form factor thing, I'm a little more mixed on this one. This is definitely my least favorite like packaging I have for a record. It doesn't open up. It's just the sleeve. But that's, you know, at least in my opinion, a little irrelevant. Not that huge. Kind of got messed up in shipping. The record plays fine, but the packaging got a little bent. You know, it's got like the freaking like I forget what he calls this, but yeah, no, it's got the DJ Potaro face on it, and you know, just kind of like the blank like album background. So you know, nothing too crazy. I do believe this was managed by a different record label than he currently works with, so that kind of explains part of it. It does have all the songs kind of on the back, kind of neat. I do actually, just looking at this now, I do kind of like how the face is a little glitched. That's a nice touch. Now, what I do really like is just like the actual vinyl itself. It's like got this like milky look to it. Very cool. And it's got the little face on top. I don't know if Worlds ever got a vinyl release back when it first came out. I was by no means a fan of electronic music back then. For some reason, I think I heard like Lionhearted on this album. No clue why. I knew that when I was like 8, but I did. And then I end up becoming obsessed with Nurture, and I go back and listen to Worlds. I'm like, wait a second. I know Lionhearted. I also knew like Sad Machine because of a Skyrocket cover. Whatever. Now, what is really cool about the 10th anniversary edition is that it includes a song that was scrapped from Worlds. It just did like, I do believe he didn't make the deadline. And so yeah, it's like the complete edition of Worlds got that song, Hollow Heart. And so now it's the new closing song. It used to be an insane closer, Goodbye to a World. But, and like, Hollow Heart I still think is a very good like epilogue song. Because like Goodbye to a World, it's very like, very emotional, very intense. And Hollow Heart is like more like reflective and like melancholy. So it kind of, you know, I think it still works really well with Goodbye to a World as like the epilogue song. So yeah, I recommend, if anything, go check out Goodbye to a World from this album. It's very nice. It's very sad. Like I've you know, if you're in the wrong headspace, it's not gonna get you that, but it is a very sad song. And you know, I remember back when I like graduated like high school, I was something that was like very like emotional because it's like that song is very much about like moving on and into like a new stage of life. And that was something like very like that hit like close to home for me in that season, and it was very helpful to have. So yeah. Anyway, overall, not a big fan of like the packaging on this one at all, but the actual album itself, the actual vinyl, the records, themselves are very good, very high quality. I do at some point soon. I want to get the World's live vinyl. Basically, he's released the like live show that he did a few years ago, like 2019, I think. At like his music festival, of like, you know, a bunch of different remixes of like world songs. I do believe he even like sneaks in a few bits of like Nurture and like some older stuff of his in that show. So I wanted to get that vinyl for a bit. I might grab that soon. And then I'm planning on getting Anna Managuchi's new record, Always. I think that's what it's called. I'm planning on getting that when it comes out. I'll probably pre-order it soon. So, you know, when those come, I will probably talk about them. But yeah, this went on a lot longer than I was expecting. I didn't think I could talk for 20 minutes. And now my throat hurts because I have allergies right now. It's all up in my nose and whatnot. And so I probably should not have talked this much without water. I have a bottle back there. I think it's empty. But anyway, that'll do it for today. Thank you for listening to me ramble for 25 minutes. about 5 albums. That's ridiculous. I don't know how I talked that long. But yeah, thank you. And I will be back tomorrow. Peace.